So I was on Twitter minding my own business when, like, literally out of nowhere, this one guy was talking about how great the new Dissidia beta was, and I'm like, excuse me? I played the beta beforehand for like 3 hours or so, and I've written the game off as pretty meh. Like not that bad, but like nothing worth bragging about. And I wanted to see if like anyone else agreed with me, and when I looked, there weren't that many big YouTubers or any at all who did impressions on this game, but the ones who did actually liked the game. Impossible. So that's when I knew it was up to me to be the voice of reason, to show those 3 YouTubers and that one guy on Twitter why this game actually sucks. This game is not that good. So I'm going to start off by quickly comparing the new Dissidia game, which is Dissidia NT, don't ask me what the NT stands for, to the older PSP games, which were loads better, a lot better. To save time, I cut down this part. I actually cut a lot of stuff from the script because the video was like 30 minutes long and ain't nobody got time for that. So if you do want the more in-depth version, just let me know, because I'll put the video up, I guess. So the original Dissidia games were created with more RPG-says story elements, and thus had more depth for the game. Each character's stats were directly related to the equipment you bought from the shops, like attack, defense, speed, etc, etc. Characters had an extensive moveset with at least 15 or so different moves that needed to be unlocked, but it allowed you to specialize each character in a unique way. The characters in this game had maybe 6-7 move stops, and you can't change them or switch them out. Dissidia for the PSP also had a large mix of interesting stages to play from. Some stages had large castles for you to run around with bridges and like floating areas to like play under. Some stages transformed, and some stages were more like large rooms with like different structures and stage effects for you to play around with. And even the more flatter stages had destructible structures, which made the fights more dynamic. Summonings also were a lot better in the old game. In the original games, you had up to like 30 summonings to play around with. And these summonings each had some effect that needed to be strategically used for maximum effect. Like for example, one summoning could double your bravery, and then it reduces gradually over a short period of time. So if you didn't time the summoning perfectly, you would just lose all your bravery. But if you did, then you could deal massive HP damage or even one-shot someone. I know that might sound pretty broken, but you can definitely play around with these effects to make them more interesting than what you have in the current game, which is like raise your attack, raise your defense, or whatever. One of the biggest changes, however, is how they changed the EX system. In the older games, you attacked these cores, which gave you, let's just call it energy. They gave you energy, which when you had enough, you can enter a special state, which allows you to do your special ultimate attack, which even came with button prompts, making them more interactive. And that was completely cut from Dissidia NT. So those, for the most part, are the major changes from the PSP version to the PS4 version. The PSP version also had a story mode and other modes like missions and stuff that added to the longevity of the game. By not implementing these features in some way or another, the game is severely lacking in content and is thus worse off. Okay, so now that I've explained the major differences between the older games and this game, let's actually talk about this game. So to start, the tutorial is actually really bad. It tells you absolutely nothing worth knowing besides the general button layout and some like basic things like how to dash, how to use your summoning. That's practically it. The game has 4 types of characters with little to distinguish between 3 of them. You have the marksman which sit in the back spamming attacks with nothing better to do. They're your mages. And then you have the assassins, which are meant to be your quick agile fighters. The vanguards, who are also your fighters. And then you have the specialists, who are special because the game said so. I don't know. If you play those last 3 classes the same way, you won't really notice that much of a difference between them. All of the characters have some unique trait that makes them slightly different. Like for example, Lightning can change jobs between her more melee heavy job to like a mace type. Doesn't tell you how though. Accidentally found out like 3-4 hours in because I clicked in the left analog, which is how you change job with Lightning. But the Onion Knight, who is a specialist by the way, I don't know why or what makes him special, changes job depending on what move you use and your EX skill. So like if you use your EX skill, you can change it to a mage. If you like hit side X or up X or something, I honestly don't know. This worked like 70% of the time. If you use a certain attack, he'll change it to a ninja. And I honestly can't tell the difference between his ninja and his regular knight moveset, but that's besides the point. So I spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out how to change his jobs, because I kept trying to click in the left analog like you did with Lightning. But I don't know why there's just not a universal way to do this between the different characters, so that it's simpler for the user. To make it worse, one of the characters, Van, His description reads, fuse attacks that siphon bravery from enemies while increasing his HP attacks and where they land. Whatever the hell that means, I don't know. And then we got the Dan over here who can steal attributes. Like, what are those? I have no idea what that actually does. Does he steal attacks? Does he steal your speed? Or I don't know. And some summonings even lower your debuff gauge. I don't even know what a debuff gauge is. These are just some examples of how the beta doesn't provide enough information for the player to actually dig into the game, besides just the basics. And because this is trying to be more of an arcade fighter, I'm worried the full game won't provide that information either, so most players would just be lost on some of these things. So, the actual gameplay. There are many things wrong with the gameplay, but in a very casual sense, it might not stop you from hopping in and just enjoying a few games, but the problems are still there. The stages are mostly flat with nothing interesting added to make the fights more dynamic, thus making all the stages boring. There is one stage like Cloud stage, which I believe is called Midgard from Final Fantasy VII, that has a few structures for you to play around with, but nothing too interesting about it, but that's mostly it. That's so far the only stage that I found that added something more to it. So the blocking system is actually really bad. In the old games, the blocking system functioned more like a counter. You pressed it, and if you were hit during a certain window, the enemy bounced off of you, allowing for a counterattack. However, if you mistimed your counter, you were left open yourself. It worked perfectly. There was nothing wrong with it. However, in this game, they replaced that with like an actual shield, similar to most other fighting games like Super Smash Bros. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this, but if you hit someone's shield, or if your shield gets hit, you get sent away, which is so stupid. So like, if I think you're going to hit me and that shield to be safe, I get flung across the map. And I don't know why this is a thing, actually. My reward for trying to play safe and avoid getting hit results in me getting removed from the fight. So I can't counterattack you. I can't shield your attack and then punish you for hitting my shield because I get pushed away and I can't do anything. Your other defensive option isn't anything to write home about either. So you have the ability to dodge/roll away. In the older games, you had invincibility, so if someone got a bit too frisky for your liking, you could safely dodge around or through their attacks with the invincibility. So the fights had this fun back and forth feel when you're trying to land an attack. However, someone had the right idea to remove all invincibility for your rolls. Because why not? So now it's easier to roll into attacks, and because shielding is kind of pointless, you're just better off just mashing the attack button. Trust me, it works. It's way better than bothering with shielding and dodging. Just attack. And then the dashing mechanic. So if someone wants to run away from you, it is almost impossible. It really is to actually hit them. Your moves aren't fast enough, nor do they have the range to like actually hit them while you're chasing them down. So like literally, the only way to catch your opponent, besides having more dash meter than them, if they suddenly had a change of heart about letting you kill them. If someone doesn't want to get caught, like really doesn't want to, you're better off fighting someone else because the effort isn't worth it. And also, dashing doesn't adjust for height. So if someone is above you and you want to like fly through to like quickly hit them, like if you're chasing down a maze or something, the character doesn't fly at them, he goes straight under them, and vice versa. If you're above someone and you need to get someone under you, you can't dash downwards at them, you just go straight past them. And this comes up in other scenarios where you're trying to like follow up when your teammates attack, but you can't because you first have to like jump around to position yourself so that you can fly directly at them. And as I already said, the summonings had a more diverse and strategic effect in the older games. The effect now mostly devolves into simple things like increasing attack, defense, or affecting your debuff gauge, whatever that means. In the older games, the summonings were more used for status effects and didn't directly fight with you, which means there were more ways to play around with your summoning than just strictly increasing your attack. Now in this game, they do fight with you, which isn't bad in itself, but the summonings are like actually kind of broken. They're more summoned to win. If you manage to get one of these down, it's more like God himself just fell on the map. It becomes unplayable for the other team, and they constantly bombard you with attacks with no easy way to avoid it or know when they're going to hit you. So between the seemingly random AoE attacks and the opponent beating on your ass the whole time, you like literally can't play the game for a few seconds because you're just getting hit with so much crap. They have no strategic value, you just throw them out and start beating face. At least you have a bar to fill up before you can actually summon one of the creatures. But like I already said, it's really easy to like run around and avoid people, so it's not that hard getting around. And the wall system is actually pretty bad. If you get knocked down and hit the ground, you have maybe 5 seconds of invincibility until you move, which I think is too long, but it stops you from getting ragdoll around the map. However, if you get knocked into a wall, your character stays there for a few seconds with no invincibility, which allows for a follow-up. And this means a lot of things. If I knock you into a wall, I can directly follow up with another bravery attack, or I can directly hit you with an HP attack and instantly kill you. There's nothing you can do about it. I just hit you into a wall and then bam, you're dead. You can't bounce off the wall or nothing. There's no counterplay. You just hit the wall, you're there, and then you get hit some more. But to make it worse, say if opponent A hits you into a wall, if opponent B can then follow up and start attacking you. Now, opponent A can join in and both double team you on the wall, or he can hit you at the end of opponent B's combo. Meaning that the two players have at least 3 guaranteed combos on you, with potentially more follow-ups after that, resulting in your character just getting gangbanged and there's nothing you can do about it. And like, don't get me wrong, I like the ability to follow up on your teammates' attacks, but getting stuck on the wall is not fun for anyone and it punishes way too hard. The get up system also sucks balls. As far as I can tell, you can't rebound off the ground, and if you can, let's go back to my point that the game doesn't tell you anything. So if you hit the ground, just pray to God your character actually gets up before everyone swarms you. Sometimes he gets up and sometimes he doesn't. And another problem is the moves don't feel very smooth. You miss an attack because some punk keeps running around and oh boy, like, go take a bathroom break because you're going to be there for a while before the animation finishes. Trying to dash around and maybe dodge at the last minute but can't because your character had better things to do. But like, this might not seem like a big of a deal, but when you're in the middle of a fight trying to make quick life-altering decisions, and you can't because you're stuck in some weird animation, feels stupid, and this slows the game down a lot. Moves sometimes don't even link up that well. So on top of the animation sometimes taking too long to end, the game just doesn't feel that smooth to play sometimes. And all of this contributes to the game feeling like a button masher, a beat 'em up where you just press the attack button over and over again. The blocking system is hot garbage. Dodging, if not used perfectly, just gets you hit, and you're rewarded for ganging up on players because you can get 3, 4, 5, or 6 follow-ups. No, not literally that many because there's only 3 players per team, but you can get a lot of follow-ups if you coordinate your attacks well enough, or just happen to be in the right place at the right time. I like literally one time throughout a summoning, and I couldn't see what was going on because there was just so much shit on the screen, but I just kept mashing the attack button, and the opponent couldn't do anything about it because, as I already previously said, the game becomes partly unplayable when there's a summoning out. So he just kept getting hit by me in the summoning. Now, I forgot to mention that you're always locked on to someone. Like, you can't unlock from someone and like freely control your camera. So if you need to like make a hasty escape, or just you're like constantly running into crap and you like have no way finding out what's behind you so you can, you know, escape better. So this is everything that I think is wrong with the new Dissidia beta SAS game. I honestly think it's a game meant for a more casual audience, with most of the depth and content from the original games removed, and the current systems and features being so poorly implemented or not explained at all. I can't help but wonder how anyone could actually say this game is like great. It's mediocre compared to the original Dissidias, and on its own, it's average at best. Something to just pop in and play for 10 minutes, but to not think any more deeply about. But hey, that's just a theory. A game. Oops, wrong series. Also, disclaimer, any inaccuracies in this video can be explained by the game's inability to explain shit and does not in any way reflect on me. Alright guys, so this is the first time I'm making a video like this with all the editing / work I put into this. And also it's my first time writing a script, which was 6 pages long, and I not literally killed my voice making this video. So if you could let me know in the comment section what you thought about this video and like ways I can improve, or just let me know what you thought about the beta. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please rate, comment, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.